The night air was cold, the kind that bites through thin clothes and whispers reminders of how lonely a city can be. Under the dim light of a flickering street lamp near the old bus terminal, a young woman sat quietly on a bench. Her coat was torn, her shoes too thin for the winter chill. The name she once carried proudly, Mara, hadn't been spoken by anyone in weeks. She hugged her small backpack close. Inside were the last pieces of her life, a crumpled photo of her mother, a few coins, and a notebook she hadn't dared to write in since she lost her apartment. The city had moved on without her. Employers stopped calling, rent piled up, and soon she'd become another invisible shadow on the edge of the streets. Buses came and went, their doors hissing open and shut, releasing passengers into lives that still had direction. Mara watched them without envy, just quiet resignation. And then, through the swirl of exhaust and light, she noticed a little girl standing a few feet away. The girl couldn't have been older than 6. She wore a pink coat and mismatched gloves, one blue, one white. Her hair was in uneven pigtails, and she held a stuffed bear missing an eye. She stood beside a tall woman, her mother clearly, but the woman was on her phone, pacing and frustrated. Mara tried not to look too long. She didn't want to frighten anyone. She turned her gaze to the ground, pretending to tie her shoe. The little girl, however, noticed her. Children have a strange gift. Where adults see threats, they see stories. The girl tilted her head. "Are you waiting for the bus too?" she asked. Mara blinked in surprise. "Oh, no, just resting." The child smiled, stepping closer despite her mother's distracted voice behind her. "My name's Lila. What's yours?" "Mara," she said softly. "That's pretty," the girl said, swinging her bear by its arm. "You look cold." Mara hesitated, then nodded. "A little." The child frowned, her small brows furrowing. "Where's your coat?" "This is my coat," Mara said gently. "But it's broken," Lila said matter-of-factly. "Mommy says we should fix broken things, not throw them away." Mara felt something twist inside her chest. She smiled faintly. "Your mommy sounds very smart," Lila nodded proudly. "She is, but she's busy a lot. She says big people have to work so they can keep homes and buy cereal." The woman's voice called sharply from a few feet away. "Lila, don't wander off." "I'm not!" Lila shouted back, then turned to Mara again. "Do you have a home?" Mara froze. For a second, the noise of the terminal faded. "No," she whispered. "Not right now." The girl looked at her for a long moment. Then, with the innocent logic only a child could carry, she said softly, "You can come live with me. We have a couch and hot chocolate. And my room has stars on the ceiling." Mara's throat closed. "That's very kind, sweetheart. But I don't think your mommy would—" Just then the girl's mother turned, realizing what was happening. She hurried over, phone still in hand, her eyes flashing with alarm. "Lila, you can't talk to strangers!" Lila pointed at Mara. "But Mommy, she's not a stranger. She's Mara. She doesn't have a home." The mother's face softened slightly as she took in Mara's appearance, the worn shoes, the pale hands, the quiet dignity. She hesitated, caught between caution and compassion. "Sweetheart, go stand by the bench, please," she said gently. When the girl obeyed, the woman turned to Mara. "I'm so sorry. She's friendly, too friendly sometimes." "It's okay," Mara said quickly, standing as if to leave. "She was just being kind." The woman looked her over again, something unspoken passing through her expression. "Do you need help? A shelter? There's one on 7th. "I've tried," Mara said quietly. "It's full." The woman frowned, unsure what to say. The bus arrived then, its brakes sighing, headlights washing over them. The driver called out the route number. "Come on, Lila," the mother said. "It's ours." Lila hesitated, looking at Mara. "But Mommy, what about her?" "She'll be fine, baby," her mother said softly, though her voice trembled with uncertainty. The little girl didn't move. She ran to Mara and hugged her waist suddenly. The gesture caught Mara completely off guard. For a moment she couldn't breathe. "You can have my bear," Lila said, pressing the one-eyed toy into Mara's hands. "He helps me sleep when I'm scared." Mara tried to give it back, but the child shook her head. "Keep him. He needs someone brave." Before Mara could reply, the woman gently pulled her daughter toward the bus. Thank you, Mara whispered hoarsely. Lila waved through the glass as the bus pulled away, her small hand pressed against the window. Mara stood there long after it disappeared into the night, clutching the worn little bear. That night, she found a quiet corner behind the terminal, sheltered from the wind. For the first time in weeks, she cried, not from hunger or fear, but from the warmth of a stranger's kindness. Days passed. Mara carried the bear everywhere, as though it anchored her to something pure. She began visiting a small public library nearby to stay warm. The librarian, noticing her, offered her coffee once in a while. Slowly things began to change, not dramatically, but in tiny mercies. One afternoon, while cleaning tables at the cafe that sometimes gave her leftovers, Mara saw a familiar pair of pigtails in the window, Lila. Mara blinked, unsure if she was dreaming. The girl spotted her and gasped, "Mommy, it's Mara!" The woman turned, and her eyes widened in recognition. "Mara." Mara froze, embarrassed. "Oh, hi, I didn't mean to." The woman smiled, interrupting. "It's all right. I'm Anna. We were just grabbing lunch." Lila ran up to Mara, hugging her legs again. "Did the bear help you?" Mara knelt, smiling through tears. "Yes, every night." Anna watched them quietly, something stirring inside her. "Would you like to sit with us?" she asked. Mara hesitated, then nodded. At the table they talked easily. Lila told endless stories. About school, about how her goldfish could sing bubbles, about how her mom worked at the hospital helping babies. Anna listened, watching the way Mara's face softened each time the girl giggled. Afterward, Anna insisted on giving Mara her number. "If you ever need anything, work, or even just someone to talk to, please call." Mara wanted to refuse, pride burning her tongue, but she saw Lila's hopeful eyes and accepted. That phone number became a turning point. Anna helped her apply for a part-time position in the hospital cafeteria. It wasn't much, but it was something. The first paycheck Mara received, she bought a small blanket and a new button for the bear's missing eye. Weeks turned into months. Mara found a small shared apartment near the bus station, the same one where she'd met them. She passed it every morning, always smiling. One spring evening, Anna called. Her voice trembled. "Mara, could you pick Lila up from school today? There's been an emergency at work." "Of course," Mara said without hesitation. That day, when she arrived, Lila ran into her arms. "I told my friends you're my friend Mara. They said you're pretty." Mara laughed, touched. "Well, they sound very smart." They waited at the playground until Anna arrived hours later, exhausted but grateful. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "You already did," Mara said softly. "Months ago, at the bus stop." From that day on, Mara became part of their world. She joined them for dinners, birthdays, and holidays. She read bedtime stories to Lila, cooked simple meals when Anna worked late, and filled the apartment with laughter. Then, one rainy evening, almost a year later, Anna received a call that changed everything. She was offered a temporary overseas position, 3 months of training that could advance her career. But she had no one to care for Lila while she was away. "I can't go," Anna told Mara, distraught. "I can't leave her." Mara hesitated. "What if she stays with me?" Anna looked at her, startled. "I mean, just while you're gone," Mara said quickly. "I already help out." "And she loves me." Anna's eyes filled with tears. "You'd really do that?" Mara smiled gently. "You once helped me when no one else did. Let me help you back." So Lila stayed with Mara during those months. They baked cookies, painted stars on the ceiling of her small room, and took walks by the river. One night, as Mara tucked her into bed, Lila whispered sleepily, "You know, Mara, I think God made us meet on purpose." Mara's throat tightened. "Why's that, sweetheart?" "Because you needed a home," Lila murmured, half asleep. "And I needed a mommy." Mara's tears fell silently as she stroked the little girl's hair. When Anna returned, she found her daughter glowing with happiness, and Mara different too, not just stronger, but whole. A year later, Anna called Mara to the living room, nervous and smiling. "Lila and I have been talking," she said. "We'd like you to move in. Not as a guest, as family. Mara froze, unable to speak. Anna reached out, taking her hand. You were there when we needed you most. You've been like a sister to me, and to Lila you're so much more. Lila climbed onto the couch beside her and hugged her tightly. Please say yes, Mommy Mara. The words hit her like sunlight after years of darkness. Mara nodded, tears spilling freely. Yes, she whispered. I'd love that. From that day on, their small apartment was no longer just a space, it was a home. There was laughter, warmth, and the quiet strength of people who had saved one another without meaning to. Sometimes, late at night, Mara would sit by the window, the one-eyed bear resting on the sill, and watch the city lights. She'd think of that cold night at the bus stop, and how a little girl's kindness had rewritten her fate. And somewhere, in the quiet of her heart, she always heard the same words, soft, innocent, and eternal. You needed a home, and I needed a mommy.